Namaste. Thank you for joining me for today's practice. This particular week, we have focused on elements. We started with fire, we went into air, and then in yesterday's yin, we talked about the element of water. So today, I'm going to talk about the first foundational element, and it's earth. Um, I didn't plan on doing all these elements. We started talking about fire simply because the solar eclipse was considered the ring of fire, and June had a theme of reclaiming and resparking the inner flame within. So that just kind of naturally led me into some of the other elements. It made sense with gentle and restorative to focus on air. It made sense for me to focus on water with yin. So for this flow practice, we're going to focus on the earth element. The earth element is strong and powerful. It's about stability. It's about grounding. It's a feminine aspect because of matter, because of heaviness. If you think yin yang, the yang is um, something that is, more masculine, more light. And the heaviness and the dark is the more yin type of element. So think about Earth itself. This planet is often called Mother Earth or Mother Gaia. So it's about fertility and nourishment, creativity, longevity. I want you to consider a tree and how a tree, in order for it to really grow strong and stable, it has to have the roots going down into some rich soil below. And roots kind of, spread out, not just downward, but outward. And so, if we want to be nurturing ourselves to grow and to stay strong and to be stable ourselves, it requires us focusing on our own roots. Now, this could be healing ancestral roots. This could be, really contemplating the roots we come from. You know, um, it could also involve, if you think about the roots of a tree, they're going down into the earth towards what? Towards gravity, towards the core of the earth. So even gravity is about drawing us not only down, but drawing us down and in to ourself. There's a great quote that I wanted to share with you. It said, "If nature is your teacher, your soul will awaken." I read this great article one day recently, and it was saying, if you're disconnected from nature, then you're going to be disconnected to yourself. Think about it, like I know I nourish myself. When I start to feel imbalanced and ungrounded, I typically go for a hike or for a walk or, somewhere in nature just so I can reconnect. And if you're not that type of person, that's okay. But think about this. If you're not that type of person, are you really connected to your physical body? There are lots of people that go through so much trauma as a young person that in any type of trauma disconnects the head from the body. And so the point of healing the trauma is also to reconnect the mind and the body to be more in unison. So consider that as we go through this practice regarding the earth element. They say that the earth element is really our primary element in the physical body. And I think that, it involves the skin, the flesh, the bones, all of that. But yet they also say we're made up about 70% water. We also have gases in our body, which is air. We also have inner fire in our digestion, and we can build internal body heat. That's that fire element. And I'm talking about these elements this week and not really necessarily tying them back in with the chakras, but in the chakras, the first chakra is related to the earth element. The second chakra is related to the water element. The third chakra is related to the fire element, and the fourth chakra is related to air. And then above this, it's more ether, space, spirit as we move up. So today I figured, something that we can focus on with the earth element are more standing type poses or poses that work into the lower body, what we would call that first chakra. Obviously, we're going to be, bringing more into the practice than just that. But let's go ahead and begin. I'm not necessarily planning on props, but if you rely on blocks or, like to nestle in for Shavasana with blankets and bolster, absolutely bring it in. All right, let's start. So let's just start in child's pose. Child's pose reminds me of a rock or a stone. So let's place the hands, palms open alongside the feet. Let's pour over the lap, down to the brow. Keep your thighs knit together so that it's providing support for your belly and chest. Close the eyes and start to breathe slowly and deeply. The inhalation lifts us up. It's replenishing and invites us inward. But the exhalations can really help us to come back to the earth element, helping us to get centered and grounded. On your next in-breath, stretch the arms forward and out. Rock up hands and knees, curl the toes under, lift up and back to downward facing dog. Press and root into your fingers, grip the finger pads to the mat, and slightly dial the hands away from each other. Lift up out of the shoulders, create space in your side ribs, and press down through the balls of the feet. Down through the toes, so the front of the ankles lift, and you gain more height with your hips. All right, now begin to step the feet forward. Feel as though with each step you take, the feet are kissing the earth and folding yourself in half. Now plug the feet down, elongate your legs more, lifting up through your kneecaps and through your quads. Let the upper body bow over, create any slight gentle movement. And you may find some movement naturally erupts because energy is vibration. Now let's bend the knees. And as you bend the knees, it's like a standing form of child's, but pressurize the feet more, scoop in through the belly, and keep the legs strong. And then slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Shoulders roll down and back. Head lifts up. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra, prayer position at the heart, continuing to drill the feet down and continuing to lift the quads up. Lift through your floating ribs. Gaze straight ahead with your eyes. Let's begin. Inhale, take the arms out and up. Exhale, bring the palms together today to stay centered as you fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, step it down the mat and crank it low to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, rise to upward facing dog. Exhale, rock and roll back. to downward facing dog. Align your body and engage your muscles. Bring in that element of air through the breath. And walk or lunge or float the feet to the top of the mat to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow out. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to prayer position at the heart. We're going to continue these sun salutations. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Keep your feet weighted downward. Inhale, lift and extend the vertebrae. Exhale, step it down the mat and lower to your chaturanga. Inhale, build up. Exhale, roll it back over the toes. Pausing here in downward facing dog. Improving your breath supply without losing the focus on your physical body. Inhale to the top of the mat to Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, close the gap between the two. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, returning to Samasthiti. Continue, inhale. Exhale, fold. Feel free to invite that Ujjayi breath in, the victorious breath. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale to Chaturanga Dandasana, four limb stack pose. When you're ready to inhale, build to upward facing dog, and exhale to downward facing dog. Notice if you have the tendency to focus more on your arms or your legs. Can you strike the balance with your limbs? Inhale to the top of the mat. Opening the heart, looking forward with your eyes. And then exhale, bow out. Inhale to the top. Exhale, Samasthiti. Do one more A. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from your hips. Inhale. Create some space. Exhaling to plank and chaturanga, all in one out breath. In breath lifts you into your back bend. Exhale takes you into the inversion. Notice if it's more complicated to focus on your form being inverted versus not. There is a learning curve to these poses, to this practice, just like everything else in life. Try to maintain that curious beginner's mindset. Let your inhale, bring the feet together at the top of the mat. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale up. Exhale, Samasthiti. We're going to move into beast or your namaskaras. Inhale, chair. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, sprout up. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Into up dog, out to down dog. Lift your right leg skyward. Step it through, plant the back foot, and rise to warrior one. Pause here. Roll even more towards the outer edge of your back heel and foot. Spiral open with the front thigh. Drive up through your side body and fingertips. Exhale, hands down. Take it through the next vinyasa. You can even keep the right foot afloat. Returning to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, left leg lifts. And that can give you a leading edge to step the foot through. Plant your back foot. Come on up, warrior one. Notice how you may be slightly on the inside of your back foot. So plant the back foot firmly to the floor. Glide your right hip more towards the front. Stabilize the front knee by grounding the big toe. Shine up through your hands, through your crown. Exhale, hands down. You can keep the left foot afloat through the vinyasa if you wish. Pausing, of course, in downward facing dog. Rediscover your breath. Inhale. Bringing the feet to the top, however you want to arrive. Exhale, close in. Inhale, lift up to chair, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. And up dog. Out to down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Step the foot through, plant your back heel down. Virabhadrasana 1. So if the earth element is the foundational element, it only makes sense that the foundation of the body correlates back to that element as well. Focus on feet first. Move up through the lower body. Finally into the upper body. Exhale, release. Take the vinyasa. Once in down dog, left leg lifts. Step it through. Plant the back foot. Bring it on up. Warrior 1. Establish your foundation. Get established within yourself. Established within your breath. Established in the now. Release. Hold and breathe. Inhale, top of the mat. Exhale, close in, belly, chest, and face. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. Another B. Same flow. Feel free to follow the yogi. You may have it memorized. Right leg up. Step it through. Ground the feet before you come up. And then recommit to the feet. And bring it up from there. Left leg. Take as much time as you need to. Get heavy. Feel the matter that is your body. It ties us to this 3D reality. Fold and flow. Keep your shoulders pinned in your back instead of dragging down. Keep your kneecaps lifting up instead of them sagging down. Inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, Uttanasana. Inhale, Uttanasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. All right, we're going to do one more B today. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold. Legs are structured and strong. Inhale, float the head and heart up. Exhale, strengthen the upper body. Inhaling, open the heart. Exhale, rock and roll back. Right leg lifts. Same flow. Breathe. Move through the vinyasa. Once aligned to downward facing dog, left leg lifts. Step it through. Bring it up. Remember, we talked about the earth element being strong and powerful. Feel strong and empowered within. Reconnect to your roots. Exhale, release. Pausing here in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Head bows between the arms, gaze back towards the feet. Right now, in this position, both the hands and the feet are the foundation. But lift your head up, look towards your hands, bend your knees, bring some buoyancy into the hips. The arms and hands are going to be the primary foundation here for us to float the feet through, to restructure the legs, and to hinge forward. Inhale, closing it out to Utkatasana. Exhale, hands to prayer. Now we're going to pause here a moment. I'm blending blissful and flow together today. So we're going to be themed. We're going to add in some affirmations. Close the eyes, wiggle the thumbs to the center of the chest. Affirming as you hold. Salutations to the sun, to the awakening light within us all, and to the dawning of a much higher state of consciousness in all beings. Hands to the hips. Hop the feet apart. Lift through your knees like you would in Tadasana, but lean back. Come forward. Hug that belly in. Take the peace mudra around each big toe. Fan the arms away. One of the Padangusthasana poses. Inhale, create some space. This time we're flipping the hands, taking them under the feet and rolling back in. Padahastasana, foot over hand pose. Releasing the hands, bring them back to the waist. Rise up, hop the feet together. Now we typically step to the right, but I'm stepping to the left in order to face you. The legs are going to be sprawled out, arms out. Turn your right foot, it may look like my left. Bend that knee. Stack the forearm to it. Take the left arm skyward or over the ear. Sometimes we lose that lunge, but remember lower body earth element. So lunge the knee enough so it's stacked over the ankle, more of a 90-degree angle with the front leg. Now, if you want to set your right hand to the floor and extend the left arm up or again across your ear, you can certainly go there. If you feel like threading the arms, usually we push the hips back to get the bind, but then you want to make sure that you drive the right hip back in order to maintain it. We're going to be changing up the flow a little bit today. We're going to release the binds. We're going to spin to the ball of the back foot. Prop the right hand to the knee. Notice how it may back away again. Make sure that shin's perpendicular to the floor. Left elbow to the outer edge of the knee. Push the thigh to the arm. You can also sink down more towards the pit of the arm. This one, the belly may be hidden, and then the arms are outstretched. Some people even like to create a bind here. Release, plant the foot, bring it up. All right, right foot turns in. Take a moment. Left foot rotates out. Lunge the knee. Stack onto it. And this may be your side angle today, Parsvottanasana. Remember, there's so many different variations. This is actually one of my favorite poses. It's a pose anybody can do, right? Not everybody can do the bind, but just about everybody can take that variation of the elbow stacked to the knee. You want the binding of the arms, just make sure you recorrect what's happening in the lower body. We don't want the booty sticking out, right? We want to tuck that left sit bone slightly under, extend the spine, open up through that right shoulder. And then you can release, Spin away from the back heel. Left hand pushes down the thigh so that you can lift up. Taking the revolving twist. Hands to prayer or extending the arms or creating the bind. Yogi's choice. Exhale, release. Plant the back foot, float the hands up. Both feet turn and are parallel. All right, right foot turns out again. Left heel a smidge back, okay? Extend the arms. Windmill down, triangle. There's, of course, different variations here too. We're going to move into revolve triangle. Put a little lunge in the right knee. This is a pose where you may potentially need blocks. Offset your left foot, ground it down. And then bring the heart through, extend the spine. And then open up to your right. Feel that iliotibial band activate. Exhale, lower the right hand. Come up. Reset the feet. Whew, I've been sick this past week, so I'm getting back into practice. I'm feeling it. Left foot turns out. Right heel a smidge back. Arms lift. Extend over. Take triangle. Maybe even affirming. Energy and joy flow down to me. Energy and joy flow down to me. Lunge that knee. Bring the hands down to blocks or floor. Offset the right foot. Lift and extend the vertebrae. Spiral to your left. Reverse triangle. Standing poses are really great beginner poses that help lead us and open us more for the sitting postures and prepare us to sit in meditation. Exhale, lower the left hand, draw it up, turn the feet parallel. Whew. All right, Padangusthasana. We're rolling the shoulders back for Prasarita Padottanasana. The heart's gonna stay open, a little bit of a chest bump here. Hinge from your hips. Notice if you're rolling to the inner or outer edges of the feet, can you apply the same pressurization to both? Inhale, drive up. Place your hands at your low back, roll the shoulders back, lift the hands away from the buttocks. This may be enough. Otherwise, hinge. Release the hands. Slide them through the legs, palms flat. If you're feeling strong and mighty here and want to do Shirshasana 1, you can land to the head. We can scissor the legs up. Point the toes. Kiss the inner thighs. Eventually separating. Flexing the feet. Controlling yourself down. Landing back to your heels. Stacking onto your hands. Lifting your head up to be level to your heart. Now everyone come up. Turn your right foot. Step up to the front. We are ready to balance. We're going to stack and stand on the left leg. Spread the toes. Broaden the base of the foot. Now you can do regular tree, right? Right foot to the inner part of the leg. Or you can catch the heel, the top of the foot, and bring it to half lotus. Concentrate and affirm. I am calm. I am poised. Let's release. All right, splay the toes. Ground the right foot. Determine regular tree, Vrikshasana, or half Padmasana. Remember the beauty of the lotus that we see floating above the water is not just due to the sunlight and the nourishment of the water itself, but its roots are in the mud below. The mud being the earth element, what is also essential. Remember, the lotus represents growth and transformation. We must be connected to our own roots in order to feel safe to grow. And release. All right, we're moving towards Padangusthasana. So the standing balance, of course, you can hold the knee, open the hip, right? I'm going to try to do it the other way, where we lace the fingers around the big toe. Either one's acceptable. When you're ready, Pada A. Pada B. Straighten those legs. We're coming back for Pada D, skipping C today. And release. All right. Shift your weight to the right. Balance on that side. Determine which style you want to attempt today. Pada A. Pada B. Pada D. And release. Walk it out. Coming into a vinyasa, hands to prayer. Inhale, arms up, feet down. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale back. All right, we're going to come through to sit for Paschimottanasana. So when you're ready, come through. I used to be able to sail through and haven't practiced it since the pandemic. I'll bring it back eventually. Flex the feet. Root down to the back of your thighs. Shine up through your arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up. Exhale, hands back behind you. Point the toes. Lift up, reverse plank. Exhale, lower. Bring your hands forward. Lean forward. Bump up. Get your sits bones back. Right foot to the inner left thigh. Janu Shirshasana. Slightly turning that navel over towards the straight leg. Gazing out towards the foot, unless that's disruptive for your neck. Inhale up. Lift your right knee. Plant that foot. Bring the right arm to the inside of the knee. Wrap it around in front. Left arm wraps behind the back. One of the Marichyasana poses. Inhale, draw it up. Grab that heel. See if it's possible for half lotus in this seat. Right arm behind the back. It's okay if you can't quite grab the foot. Left arm reaches high. Exhale, dive down. Inhale halfway. Lift your gaze. Remove the back hand. Come up. See if your left foot can pull back. And then you're going to kind of probably look like this, right? But if you come off that seat, the left side of your seat, to bring that right knee down, it'll be helpful. Left arm reaches to the inside to hook the arm. Right arm behind the back and bow. If that foot trapped in half lotus is disruptive to the ankle, to the knee, to the hip, just sink it down to the floor. It doesn't have to stay trapped there. Taking a twist, lift the head and heart. Turn to gaze off to the right. Release the bind. Crisscross the ankles, lean forward. Take it back. And vinyasa. Crisscross. Come through to sit. Let me see. Bump forward. Lift the arms. Fold it down, Paschimottanasana. So we really just targeted one side, right? We'll switch to the other. You may see a little progression since we're re-inviting this pose in again. Inhale up, exhale, hands behind the back. Point the toes, reverse plank. Breathe. Exhale, seat down. Lean forward, right bump up. Left foot, inner thigh, Chandrashirshasana, head to knee. Lift the arms up. Fold over. Little twist through the belly. Nothing extreme. Inhale up. Let that left knee, a little space in between the two to give you some room to thread the arm. Inhale up. Catch the heel. Half lotus. Half bind. Right arm up. Exhale, fold. Inhale up. Remove the arm. Right foot back. Lean towards that left knee. Right arm reaches through, creates the bind. Inhale up, turn to the left. Parsva look through the corner, the left corner of the eyes. Adding in a little eye yoga to the mix. Release that bind. Stack to your heels. Float the feet. Navasana boat. Maybe attach the hands to the back of the legs. Maybe lift the feet higher. Shoulders down the back. So take the half. Take the full using your hands. Or peace measure around the big toes. Lift the legs and draw the two halves closer. Crisscross, lean forward, step back plank. Pause and plank. Notice your hands, notice the strength of your arms. Crank forward, sink low, chaturanga, build up, roll back. We're gonna take some arm balances. And the foundation changes because all the standing poses have been, right, the feet. The sitting poses we were doing were the legs and the feet. Now we're swapping the foundation to the arms and the hands. So bend your knees. Hop the feet to either edge of the mat, kind of like you're going to bear pose. Except we're gonna hunker down, take the hands down behind the ankles, sit back, flex and float the feet, Bhujapindasana. Now Tiktabhasana. Firefly. Tip forward, feet land. Sit back, plot back, whatever works. And we're gonna take the hands through the knees. I don't have a lot of space here today. For Kurmasana. Now I'm gonna do the one where the feet join together and the arms kind of spin back behind the hips. You can do one of the other variations. And if you prefer just doing, butterfly or bound angle in place of Kramasana, I can't see what you're doing at home, so it's all good. And just strike a pose. All right, so lift your head, heel to the feet apart. Release your arms. Come up, extend your legs. Okay, extend your legs. Use your hands to push down the tops of your thighs. Take it forward a bit. Flex the feet more. Feel the definition of your muscles. Feel free to stay or slide it to the shins. Feel free to weigh the shins down or to stack the hands to the toes. And then close your eyes. I want you to affirm internally and mentally to yourself, I accept everything that comes my way as an opportunity for further growth. Inhale, come up. Bring your feet together in a cross-legged position. Bring your hands to prayer position at your heart, because I think this affirmation is super important. We're going to invite it in again. I choose and am willing to accept everything that comes my way as an opportunity for further growth. You know, when the Smoky Mountains caught fire years ago, I think it was by an arsonist, so many of us here in Tennessee and North Carolina were devastated because those mountains are beautiful and we often escape to those mountains. But then we started hearing reports that, it doesn't hurt a forest necessarily to burn down because new growth can come up from that. And it actually can be helpful, which is why in certain places across the world, even in our nation, there are controlled fires to replenish the growth of the earth or whatever terrain that may be. So let's, not that we want to see them burn, but these elements do play around with each other. Right? So scoop the belly in, reach the arms forward, start to roll it back. Once you roll it back, turn your palms down, walk the feet in. Inhale, lift, bridge. Your feet are firm, your hamstrings are firm, your glutes are firm. Exhale when you're rolling down. We're gonna slip the hands under the legs. We're gonna lengthen them out, point the toes, root the elbows, and arc through the spine. Taking fish. Now those of you that do the typical flow, if you want to pause the video, if you want to do the 3 bridges to wheel, or if you prefer moving to shoulder stand, to plow, and then to fish, you can add in similar poses. But since this is also going out for blissful, I'm choosing to end the sequence here with fish. Exhale, release. Remove the hands. Draw and tuck the knees in. If you feel like you need to incorporate a spinal twist, you can do that. I'm rocking up to get the bolster to plug in under the thighs. Time to take rest. And just remember what they say about the physical body. It can turn to ashes or dust. The bones can remain, because that's the densest part of the human form. I want you to notice the weight of your skull resting down on your mat. And then pay attention to this heavier, denser part of the body by coming down and feeling the weight of your shoulder blades nestled to the earth. The back part of your ribs. A couple points left and right, the sacrum. Perhaps a portion of the pelvis. And the weight of the ankles. Soften the muscles, even the muscles of your face. Turn to your breath. And focus on your out breaths. Eventually, that focus on the out breaths will get you more centered. More relaxed. Affirming bones, muscles, movement. I surrender now. Anxiety, elation, depression, any and all triggering thoughts, I give over to the hands of peace. When you're ready, start to deepen the flow of your breath. If you need longer relaxation, just pause the video. Otherwise, roll over to one side. Acclimate there. And eventually coming to a seat. Sitting with the spine erect. Closing the eyes. We're going to end with seated mountain pose, Parvantasana. Lift your arms up overhead, palms join. A little pranayama, breathe in. Hold, retain the breath briefly, trap it at the heart and beyond. Exhale, let it go. Inhaling. Zip up your midriff. Exhale, release. Last one. Exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we all walk away from this practice being free and at peace by anything out of our control, free and at peace by anything imposed upon us by another, free and at peace by any internal stressors of our own. Thank you. Namaste.